pretty much play anything. And I think it's a good asset to add him to Eternal Academy. And having Kenzie alongside him too makes it feel a little bit more home.
Yeah, and Eternal Academy, of course, can offer them a little bit more support than previously they have had on their previous team Winstrike. I believe they only had the single coach for communication, not really a main coach who sort of came up with all the strategies themselves, but now they have the oversight of course, Swoosh. And like I said, Kenzie going to be hovering over Ash. Zeal on the Pharah. Zeal's had a very consistently impressive Pharah. Young and Beautiful, however, will be going with the box standard 3-3, but they will be having a Moira because it gives them a lot of healing potential.
Man, that's so frustrating with the Wrecking Ball. It splits your team up just so much. It didn't seem like Young and Beautiful really kind of knew what Eternal Academy were going to run out the gate, of course. They were running Huni on the Moira instead of the Zenyatta, and having Jonah in the roster as well. A new addition, of course, last week is going to jump into his first game on Control.
Yeah, primarily they ran Kathy on that Zaya, but now Zeal's just going to be throwing in rockets here and there, trying to pick up a little bit of extra percentage, which Kenzie is already doing very well with.
Look at this. Away. Oh, headshot after headshot too. He's already up to 80% on Bob. Point is going to be still contested by Super Luke, who's just whipping himself around and round the central column. A very early coalescence used to shove Eternal Academy off the point. Does mean Young and Beautiful are going to find the cap. Young Savage going very low, caught out of position, gets taken out by Super Luke, and now Eternal Academy can strike. Zeal finds 2-3 kills with a missile barrage. Eternal Academy swiftly going to be able to chain this one over. Kenzie actually used the Bob there at the end as well to secure the point and the kills. 16% acquired for Young and Beautiful.
Potential of usage of Bob there unnecessary after the combination of a pile driver into a barrage, and that was really good from Superblue to be able to get so many people within that pile driver, which very much can sort of stagger the potential air momentum that they have, meaning that it's far harder to get away from that barrage, especially if you demand the attention on the Wrecking Ball. There's the minefield.
Oh, minefield, and the boop as well. You can see Ascoff above booping people into the mines as they were trying to circumvent them. Kenzie already finding the kill onto Flippy, another one onto Danny as well. Young and Beautiful know they need to go for a big reset here. Make Eternal Academy use their resources as they come in. They're going to be facing with these DPS ults time and time again, of course, because they are lacking range. Young and Beautiful need to build up a viable ult bank right now. Jonah isn't even in his first grab. He's only 30% away there.
Yeah, Crandop and Jonah are having trouble generating those ultimate straws because they don't really have a consistent target that they can aim at. They don't have these large tanky targets. Only Wrecking Ball from Superfluke, who can often use the physical cover of point to his advantage. And now Chow is so ready to go for one of those EMPs. Zeal can layer on top of it.
Oh, Ascoff jumps on his head as well. Superfluke, Kenzie. They got the damage to finish them off, no problem. That's what they were waiting for. Now Eternal Academy, we talk about it all the time in 3-3, the rolling of ultimates. So Eternal Academy doing that just as well. On the DPS picks instead, Zeal's got a barrage. We've got Bob online in 3% as well.
Yeah, one of the primary weaknesses of 3-3 draws is due to all of the health and all of the healing. When you lose a fight, you give away a huge amount of ultimate charge because of a huge amount of health the enemy has to chew through. Zeal ready once again with that barrage. Will we see it combined with the pile driver? Doesn't like that's going to be the case.
New set mines going to come out from Super Fluke at any moment. Crandop going very low. Another barrage finishes off 2 people. 85% on the clock as well for Eternal Academy.
Zeal there, super smart, actually used the barrage after everyone got into the building, so it was very hard for Jonah to come out and try and contest him. 2 picks would be enough there for Zeal to really try and clinch this fight. 5% remains, and Crandop's on his own again.
Crandop is going to go super low. Does receive the bubble. Oh, that boop almost finding him. Another lot of mines are going to come out and on the point as well. Bob is also going to corral the rest of Young and Beautiful onto the points. A beat does come out from Eternal Academy to make sure they can survive long enough. And another one in kind from Young and Beautiful. Graviton Surge is going to find all of anybody, but Kenzie's Bob is going to go down and Chow is going to follow him. Eternal Academy now finally losing control, but Tri-Spear manages to find the res on Chow. Maybe he can get another EMP off. He's so close.
Crandop's almost out of shield as well, then he won't be able to protect anyone from incoming fire. Kenzie's going to give a parting gift in the dynamite. However, Young and Beautiful, they're in control, but a 5-man EMP?
Okay. Pulling the trigger very early with Chow. Kenzie and Zeal are going to find a kill already. And another barrage from Zeal finds 2. Crandop and Flippy are going to go down. And now it's only a Diva to contest him midair. Danny's mech gets instantly destroyed as Zeal just focuses him out. Chow is going to finish off Danny as well. It was a very, very short cap. They only managed to cap about 15, 16%. OT is going to tick through. Young and Beautiful need to be able to touch the point, but it's only Crandop. Young Savage gets booped into the well.
What a good
Another boop
concussive
as well
blast
from Zeal should seal the deal. Hammond can't touch the point, and Eternal Academy are going to find gardens.
And it's a testament to how much of a fake out that was, Jaws. But we have infrared vision. We can see everything through a spectator camera, and we didn't know they were going to re-engage with that EMP. That took us by surprise. So you can't imagine how much that caught Young and Beautiful off guard. Like, oh, they're disengaging. I guess we've won the fight. And then Chao gets a 5-man EMP. You instantly get the picks there. And actually, I've got to give credit to Askoft for his usage of the Sandbar in that second to last fight. He actually allowed not only for Eternal Academy to be more hardy on point, but it also allowed Bob to survive his self-destruct, which meant Bob was going to be a problem for a lot longer than otherwise you would have anticipated. Like, oh, Bob's next to the self-destruct, he's going to lose a load of health and he'll be easy to take down afterwards. But he was left with about half health after that one.
Yeah, Bob has 1,000 HP, of course, when he does get released. But you got to think, Bob is not really a nuisance to the 3-3. There's a whole lot of shielding, obviously defense matrix as well. But if you are putting your back to him, it's still a whole lot of pressure that you kind of need to deal with, whether that's a boop, whether that's just killing him outright. And 3-3 doesn't really do that well, especially with that Zenyatta that can Discord orb him, because then you're, again, committing resources in order to get rid of him. Really frustrating situations to deal with. This is obviously frustrating as well, I know. It is a pause, guys. We're going to jump to a quick break. Do not go anywhere. We'll see you in a minute for Night Market. Hey guys, we are back. Sorry about the quick pause, but no worries. We're straight back into game. Night Market is the map. It will be Eternal Academy versus Young and Beautiful. Right now, Eternal Academy, they are 1-0 up in the series. Going to run with something a little bit more standard though. 3-3 with the Zen.
Flippy's on the Widow though. Maybe trying to get a cheeky pick from Messiah. Tri-Spear and Askoff going to have to look out here. They're going to be the primary targets of Flippy, who's yet to go over the edge. May actually be returning to base. Will be doing so to swap over onto Brigada. Potentially thinking that Eternal Academy could run out with Zeal on that Pharaoh again, which was such a menace during the last map. Does it like now we are going to have a standard 3-3 versus 3-3 battle. There will be the advantage maybe for Eternal Academy, who have positioning on point.
Yeah, that they do.
Nope,
super
never mind.
with the big retreat. You can see all those critical health bars just flashing. Tri-Spears, I can't heal them all. I'm only a Zen. I've got 30 HPS and 1 orb, unfortunately.
I've got 1 orb, so you're going to have to share.
Young Beautiful, like, none of this.
Split custody. You get the orb Monday and Fridays, and I get the orb through the middle of the week.
I'm actually quite a selfish Zen, I'm not going to lie. I say selfish, but I actually just perma orb the Reinhardt. Like, he's going to take the most damage in the fight. Like, I get a lot of ult charge this way.
Speaking of taking damage, Danny forced off the high ground right here. Eternal Academy going to try and claim that space, but Young and Beautiful have claimed the point. They're accruing percentage up to 20% already. See, the Discord orb there is on Super Pollitt, making him incredibly vulnerable to the attentions of Young and Beautiful. Going to take 30% more damage when he does take that. Crandop's going to fall over. May have to back off right here. Does have the orb, but is now getting the resources.
He's going pretty low, but he's got 5% towards an ultimate. Crandop could just lay it down. Look how low as well Super Luke is going. No shadow needed at all. Young and Beautiful going to continue to hold as Askoff also falls. Nice little stagger onto Chow. He does reset himself, of course. Did almost find it. Look how far forward they're pushing up now. Eternal Academy might just catch some unawares, though. Kenzie got his ult online. Chow is 20% away, so he really needs to build that self-destruct up.
I've got to give credit in that last fight to Jonah's bubble usage. Definitely kept Crandop alive a little bit longer than I would have anticipated. And of course, Jonah is pretty new to this roster, replacing Caffey or potentially just subbing in for Caffey for a quick moment here and there. Kenzie does have the Graviton Surge ready to go, and Crandop's holding so aggressively here. Could be hit with that Graviton Surge if it gets past the defense matrix.
Yeah, he does not want anybody else to get caught with that grab. That's why he's holding that far forward, Harry. Kenzie just looking for a grab opportunity, but he just can't seem to find it. Always, you can see in the corner of his eye, Danny just holding that defense matrix. Early Transcendence now.
There it is, V8.
Show's going to find the big eat on Jonah too. So now they don't have that available. Hooney's Transcendence does end up running out. That Shadow does hit the floor. A beat comes through as well. That's a lot of ults being thrown on top of each other. Nothing to really combine with that Graviton Surge. Flippy just absorbs all of the damage on that self-destruct in his mech as well. 90% now available for Young and Beautiful. Crandop and Super Pook end up going down, and Jonah just now taking control of the point. No one's paying attention to him whatsoever, plus they have the rally armor. No one's getting to him. 99% to 0. Young and Beautiful now just picking off the last remaining members of Eternal Academy.
Looks clean for Young and Beautiful. Jonah's going to be just dueling out with Zeal here. Won't be lasting for long, but he does have that passive heal, Jaws.
Yeah, he's going to go down pretty quick sharp. A Kenzie Tracer is going to get forced to recall as he was sub 10 HP. I don't think there's any way they're going to be able to make it now. Just the last couple of members to clean up. Young Savage finds the boot. And Young and Beautiful end up playing the map.
Seems Eternal Academy weren't as practiced of this as you would like. Those combos were not quite as clean as we've come to expect from a lot of teams here in Europe. The Graviton seemed a little bit sloppy, and it says something about how effective a team can be at 3-3 when you eat the opposing team's Graviton Surge and you have a massive advantage of that offensive playmaking ultimate, and you still can't win out a fight. It was a great shadow as well, coming out from Crandop to put 2 on the ground and get a pin kill. I think someone actually booped him midway through that charge, so he got smacked into a wall and got the early pin rather than potentially going a little bit further out towards the edge where it could have been maybe a little bit more vulnerable to the environmental kill. But for now, we see Kenzie. We talked about this in the pre-roll. He's currently on that May. This could be his chance to try and throw a spanner in the works, Young and Beautiful. Maybe try and punish some aggression from Crandop and Jonah, who are playing on center at the moment, so it's far harder to try and isolate them.
You got to bait that wall out. That's the ideal scenario for Young and Beautiful here. Just bait the wall and then go in. You know Kenzie's not going to have it for a little while. You can see it just coming back off cooldown now.
Going to try and isolate again. Once again, it's under them. Not quite what you want. It will just put them up in the air. They can walk off backwards and regroup thereafter.
Crandop already going fairly low. He's got to be a little bit more careful here, but the same with Super Fluke. He's taking additional damage here as well because he doesn't have a Diva at his back. Finally, a good wall. And Flippy ends up going down, and you can see Crandop is going to get jumped on. Receives the bubble from Jonah, though, so he's still alive. And actually, a big Flame Strike ends Super Fluke's life. Young and Beautiful is still in control. Eternal Academy trying to get the flip around as they do activate the rally fairly early. Now Chow and Tri-Spear coming up with a few kills of their own. They managed to kill the rest of Young and Beautiful off. But at what cost?
It seems like Kenzie, over the majority of that fight, was actually... He was very focused on using the primary fire of May to slow people down instead of using the secondary fire to get that burst damage in. Does about 75 damage per icicle and doesn't have damage drop-off, so she can be a very effective sniper in some cases. Of course, now I'm going to be swapping over to using that secondary fire. There's going to be a good isolation of about 2 members.
Nice wall. Super Luke went a little bit too aggressive, though. Thought he had the upper hand. He definitely did not. Chow has got the grab. They haven't got a combo really to go with it. No instant kill combo, at least. They have the Blizzard, of course, but it's not going to really do all too much. A wall is going to try and save them from that Graviton Surge, but nothing can be found. A Transcendence got used by Tri-Spear, and now vulnerable members of Young and Beautiful are caught up in that Graviton Surge. Another beat comes through, and then straight into the Transcendence. Honey is actually saving Crandop right now with the Trans, but it was all too much damage coming through. And actually, the separation of heals coming through as Super Blue was able to plant himself between the Transcendence and the ever-waiting body of the Reinhardt.
Yeah, Super Blue uses some good Reinhardt tech there to put his shield between the Transcendence and the Reinhardt, and that cuts off line of sight technically from the Transcendence. That means that no healing could be secured for Crandop in that instance, and he was not having a good time at all. He was getting frozen by the Blizzard, then frozen by the May again, could be charged, could be Earth Shattered, and once again the onus is on Young and Beautiful to try and make an engagement. We'll have to see if Kenzie can once again get the separation. That's a great bait.
That was a beautiful bait by Crandop. That was terrible. Cooney is going to go fairly low, though. They're going to have to be a little bit more careful. But look, Eternal Academy backing off, Harry. They're going to bait them into the grab. 10% is Chow away, and only 15 for Kenzie as well if they want to combine them.
Trying to create another choke. Didn't actually work out this time. Crandup once again is going to find himself with his team. Into the back, self-destruct.
Big shadow onto Zeal. Ice block from Kenzie to make sure he stays alive, and a beat comes through as well. Eternal Academy have the HP advantage. Young and Beautiful just have to back off, play a little bit more safe. Doesn't get eaten at all. There's the Blizzard straight on top of the grab. Danny has nowhere to go, nowhere to hide. Eternal Academy, 70% on the board. Young and Beautiful need to make this next fight stick.
Clean combination there for the pair, but Eternal Academy basically all out of ultimates with the exception of that Earth Shadow. We'll have to see if Young and Beautiful want to try and bait out going through the center again. Crandup doesn't have that Earth Shadow at all, so he can be playing far more passive here compared to the Eternal Academy main tank. He knows that he cannot allow Superpluke that opportunity.
What a wall. That's 5 members, 1 member at the back. Nice shadow as well onto Danny. Crandup is now finally through that door. Eternal Academy recognize this and back off, but finding Danny's mech might be crucial.
Yeah, that's basically going to be a 5v6 for this final fight right here. They're going to have to try hard to even touch at this point. They got a sound barrier,
That was a nice wall. They did get funneled onto the point. A rally has been activated from the side of Young and Beautiful, but he actually segregated himself up on the high ground. A beautiful grab coming out from Yona. Does find one at least in Zeal. Superpluke does almost find the pin kill onto Flippy and eventually does. But Honey is going to take out Superpluke. A flip from Young and Beautiful, and they're still in this map.
Honey and Trispear going to be playing a little bit of chicken here to see who will bring out the Transcendence first. 2 fights for Young and Beautiful separate them from claiming this map, potentially, on Lijiang Tower. We'll have to see what potential Chow can get with this Graviton Surge. Maybe combine it with a Blizzard if he can wait a little while for Kenzie to get that ultimate ready to go. Crandall, he's holding up here on the stairs, trying to be in big open areas so it's harder to wall him off.
Chow just taking a bit better of a position. That shadow is going to hit the ground, but instantly you can see that Transcendence going off from Trispear. Another Transcendence from Hooney this time. Healing advantage now for Young and Beautiful as they do surge forwards. Eternal Academy have got a bit of time to play with, only at 70% of Young and Beautiful. Graviton Surge gets eaten. Danny says thank you very much. I'll take that one for breakfast, maybe dinners later. Shadow does hit the ground also. 2 members do fall over. Flippy and Young Savage end up going down. A Blizzard's going to come out as well, and Cranjump caught up in it. Hooney is 1v6 right now, has to make something work, but I'm not sure it's going to be enough. Eternal Academy 99% clearing out Danny off of the points, and they find their second map win in Contenders as they take Lijiang.
And what I love here is Kenzie's use of a Mei primary fire in a very ingenious way. He's not using it to deal damage. He's using it in an appealing manner. He knows that if Crandup walks forward while swinging and he gets hit by that primary fire, not only is he slowed down, so you can disengage from him without using any sort of Lucio speed resources. You can keep your Lucio on healing aura and still be faster than the enemy team because that freezing beam pierces and applies up to a 50 to 90% slow to everybody. And that meant that when people got shattered down or caught in the Graviton Surge, you could just spray them with a Mei primary fire and they wouldn't really be able to follow up as well as they'd like.
It's like the miniature of miniature Blizzards, really, if they're all caught in the grab. That is it. Eternal Academy do find the map. Lijiang Tower is theirs. We'll see if Young and Beautiful can come back in map number 2. We're going to jump to a quick break, though. Don't go anywhere. Hey guys, welcome back. This is EU Contenders, of course. It's funny there because we were just trying to sort out which hand motion. Oh, you going for that one?
I'll just open up with this.
Yeah.
Fun games happening today. Li Zhongtao was pretty fun. Kenzie, he's having a lot of fun on the Mei.
Oh yeah, a lot of flexibility in the roster already being flexed off. It's kind of nice. Young and Beautiful, still yet to claim a map in Contenders. So they are going to want to look for this King's Row or Hanamura or Junktown, of course. But, I mean, Eternal Academy, it seems like their defensive playstyle and the way they play a little bit more passively is not taken roots from CIS Hope, who were very much a team, very methodical in the way they wanted to play. They saw the enemy comp, decided, okay, we're going to counter this, we're going to do this in order to set this and the tempo in our advantage, rather than going for just all-out aggression, like, okay, we're going to run on the Reinhardt, for example. And it seems like Chow and Kenzie have brought that to Eternal Academy. As soon as we saw a wall go down from Kenzie, they were like, no, we're going to back off, we're going to let Young and Beautiful come to us, and then we can take control of the game. We can then take tempo away from you.
Yeah, the thing is, I think another thing has been inherited from CIS Hope for Eternal Academy, and that's that Chow and Kenzie aren't an ideal duo for straight 3-3. We saw Young and Beautiful take a stage on Li Zhongtao. They took the night market, and they managed to do that in the straight 3-3 versus 3-3 matchup. Whereas Eternal Academy, when they bring out some shenanigans like a Mei or the quad DPS, that's when they seem to have their most powerful entrances and when they can really try and control a game a bit better. Going 3-3 versus 3-3 seems to not be the ideal matchup for Eternal Academy.
Yeah, which is very reminiscent of Windstrike and CIS Hope, who are, if you've only just joined us in Contenders this year, they were the team that didn't really like running straight through. It was Mei, and a lot of the teams, a lot of the players on that team could play Mei, which is the kind of scary thing. We've seen Kenzie, we've obviously seen Chow Mei as well.
Unfixed Mei.
Unfixed Mei. Everybody can play Mei on CIS.
Right now, Young and Beautiful hovering over a couple of DPS picks, but Eternal Academy will once again on the defense, but going for that 3-3 we just said was not overly effective. We'll have to see if potentially they have a better plan here on King's Row defense. This is a well-practiced map for a lot of players, especially a lot of Reinhardts who've been playing Reinhardt on this map for yonks now. Or for ages, for those of you who aren't from Britain.
maybe 20% of the audience understood yonks. It's quite an old English term, I think.
Yeah, it's just a little bit of a dialect. Flavor.
Speaking of flavor,
it's getting spicy.
It is.
Spicy rotations. Jonah's taking the high ground. Very reminiscent of Sinatra and San Francisco Shot. We often see in Overwatch League the better Zayas in 3-3s are often one who exploit high ground to get these nasty angles onto Reinhardts where they kind of limit their shield usefulness. Good fire strike there from Crandop. Will put Zeal low and mean that he has to get a little bit of resources to heal himself up.
Whoa, not where you want to be for Super Pluke. You see, he took an inch there. And then Young and Beautiful took a mile, like a complete mile. He jumped in, he was like, you haven't got any shields left. Perfect. Instantly we saw Young Savage with a perfect rotation to boop him back into the team. He was discorded, he was dead. And that will be the first point cap from Young and Beautiful. Very, very quick and clean.
Great calls there from Young and Beautiful. You're right. Seems like communication is definitely stronger for this team this week. They've probably been working on that in the little bit of off time that they've had over the last week. Speaking of which, Eternal Academy, they had a very tough start to their playing Contenders, so they have had two great scrim partners in Morningstar and Giganti recently, potentially having leveled up their own play. So Pluke's going to try and play aggressively, wants to control the archway and forcing Young and Beautiful to come through this particular area, and Jonah's going to be on the ground with the rest of the tanks trying to make that work. Almost to a Graviton Surge, has a about equal charge to Kenzie, so it's going to be who pulls the trigger first.
Yeah, problem is, Crandop is like so far ahead of Super Luke right now in terms of ult charge. He's going to get his online. Crandop about 60%. Super Luke about 60%. Chow saw it coming. Does manage to find the eat onto Jonah's grab. And now Trustby using that Transcendence as well to push Young and Beautiful back. They're going to counter-engage with a rally. Beautiful shatter hitting Kenzie and Chow. Instantly, Crandop finding 2 kills with the Flame Strike. Super Luke and Zeal are going to go down.
That they are. It's going to be just a little bit of cleanup here for Young and Beautiful. Keep on rolling. They're yet to lose a fight, it seems like. Definitely some good momentum in their favor, but momentum for Crandop there. You can see wiggling up, nodding up and down. He knows what we were watching. He knows, like, fine. Well, you caught me, guys.
I messed up.
But Eternal Academy, they're coming in with quite the ult bank, Jules. They have 4 ultimates ready to go on Super Fluke, very close to that 5th. So the question is here, what are Young and Beautiful going to do when it comes to rotating the Transcendence and the Sound Barrier to try and answer these? Of course, if Honey and Young Savage get caught out by the stuns, they won't be able to use those. But Super Fluke already.
He's already dead. Like you said, Jonah just playing on this high ground, was just right-clicking him from above. There was nothing they could really do. I think Kenzie didn't have his ally shield available. Big boop onto Crandop. He goes into the drink. The Jonah's going to go down as well. Nice Graviton Surge to punish the over-aggression of Young and Beautiful.
Individual play really working out there in their favor. Some good choices there from Askov to make sure he was flying high on the wall Gets a good boop onto Crandop down into the drink, like you said. Going to explore some Omnic Foundries, and that just halted the push entirely for Young and Beautiful. They couldn't keep themselves safe from Kenzie with his Graviton Surge, who decided to just solo grab there, get a little bit of a message sent across. But they now only have 4 of those ultimates remaining. They won't be able to use that Graviton Surge again, whereas Jonah, he's going to be able to freely throw his out, but hopefully it won't be thrown into a defense matrix like it was last time.
Got to be a little bit more careful. You know, Chow has your number most of the time. Now Chow taking the high ground, so it's a little bit more difficult for Eternal Academy to get much damage off. Or Young and Beautiful, in fact, sorry. Superluke's playing so passively yet again. He has got that Shatter. Shield advantage is not in his favor. Graviton Surge does hit him and only him. Self-Destruct is going to get launched high in the sky as well. Shield got removed, and actually it was only Young Savage that went down. A big Shatter comes out from Eternal Academy to try and go on the re-engage. Danny's going to have to just feed himself onto the payload right now. Young and Beautiful didn't really stand his chance. That grab went out. Perfect placement. But they are going to get halted for the time being.
Luckily, Danny near the Foundry hole, so we can just throw himself down there, get his mech back for the next attack. But momentum of Young and Beautiful well and truly stopped here. And this is a terrible place to be stopped on King's Road Jaws because of how far away the spawn is. It takes you so long to reset after a fight. It can take you like 30 seconds before you even begin the next fight. And the cart's just going to keep on moving backwards until you yet again can touch it. Crandop's got another attempt now. And Nerf Shatter. If Super Fluke gets too aggressive, it could doom Eternal Academy's defense.
Well, they use that rally to start off the fight. Look how aggressive Crandop is going. He's going to lay down the Shatter. Only one person sent to their back, though, and a beat is going to come through to make sure they survive. Tri-Spear is going to pummel Flippy and Crandop in the Graviton Surge, and Eternal Academy find yet another fight.
Potentially clean up here as well. If they can get a D-Mech onto Danny, that would be absolutely terrible for the side of Young and Beautiful. You can see if they're chasing it down. Don't want to let Jonah get away with that energy.
Whip shot from downtown. Can't defense matrix that, unfortunately. And I know only 1 minute and 30 seconds actually remains. Think back what feels like an eternity ago when they capped that first point. They had over 4 minutes ready to go.
Oh, how time flies when you're having fun. Crandop's not having much of it, however. He's been shut down consistently as he keeps going for these aggressive shatters. Only managed to get Tri-Spear in that last one. Now Tri-Spear ready. He's not going to be stunned out at all. We'll be able to bring out the Transcendence at a time of his choosing. And it also means that Super Blue can get super aggressive here because they know they have that advantage. Huni almost has, of course, a Transcendence ready to go in kind. Will he be able to heal everyone up is the question. Right now, Danny's falling so low. There's a lot of pressure on Young and Beautiful as they go through these micro choke points.
Oh, Super Blue knows. He knows Crandop does not have that Shatter available to him. He can play so far up right now, but he's got to be careful of Jonah, like you said. He has got that grab, and he gets solo grab like last time around. He could go instantly down.
Potentially so. Right now he's looking for that Shadow. Does have a lot of shield health, so he can stay here for a little bit. Also has the payload for that physical cover. Doesn't want to get outfought here. There's the sound barrier engagement.
There's the beat. Engage from Young and Beautiful. Huni still has that Transcendence to match this grab. He's going to use it. Super Fluke is going to have to remove that shield. Chow uses the bomb. Doesn't quite find anything just yet. A more defensive bomb this time from Danny. It's going to stop any removal of shields from Super Fluke, so he was able to protect the rest of his team from that self-destruct. And now Young and Beautiful, they're on their last limbs. They got 10 seconds remaining, Harry.
Crandop was solo, but Flippy's moving forward with a rally. Everyone on Young and Beautiful going to be feeling a little bit more hardy as Chow has the high ground taken away from him.
Chow's mech's dead now, so they don't really have to worry about him at all. A beat is going to come through from Eternal Academy to try and make this fight the last. They're going to jump on Crandop, but the over-aggression from Super Fluke does net him a death. And now Zio going very low. Chow's mech getting destroyed here could be what they needed. A big shatter from Crandop to end the push. Finally, they were able to get it into the Foundry in OT.
Eternal Academy got so desperate there. We saw Askoft and Zio just making a backline for a beeline for the back of Crandop. They were just shoving themselves up and trying to do as much damage to the back of him as possible. While they were there, Super Fluke didn't have the support that he needed, was overwhelmed by Young and Beautiful and the additional health pool they had from that previous rally. Flippy got his a little bit earlier, Zil got his a little bit too late, and now Flippy almost has another one ready to go. Just a couple of more ticks of healing will grant that for him and allow for the aggression of Crandop.
They have to just break Super Fluke's shield now, but he's doing such a good job of maintaining its health. They're going to move forward with the rally once again. Flippy's going to give everybody a little bit of extra armor, but Crandop goes super low. The Graviton Surge comes out from Young and Beautiful, but it's instantly met with the Transcendence. And in fact, they're going to throw one of their own out. There's no self-destruct, so no instant kills just yet. But it's still Young and Beautiful moving around this corner. Eternal Academy still playing passively, Harry.
The space has been seeded. They haven't lost the fight yet. It's going to be a self-destruct in the backline from Chow. Won't be catching anyone, I'm afraid. Now, Eternal Academy, one less tool available for them. Crandop has the Earth Shadow ready to go. Super Fluke's already used his, but Flippy's been lost.
Crandop has got the Shadow. 20 seconds now remain, however. Danny has that self-destruct, yes. Will he wait for Jonah? That is the question. Eternal Academy have only got one answering ult. Make that two, in fact, as that rally and beat it coming online soon.
Yeah, but look at how much energy Jonah has at the moment. He can easily try and farm this up if he can catch someone outside of that shield, and Showers right there on the right-hand side could be easily caught and farmed by Jonah to make sure that combination is available. No one caught, though.
Sidestepped. Everybody stepped to the side as Crandop landed down the Shatter. Crandop is going to go down as well as Zeo just punishes the over-aggression from the Reinhardt. And now Super Luke's got the Shadow of his own. There's no shield to protect Young and Beautiful, and they will fall. Huni, Danny end up going down. Young Savage on the payload. He gets savaged. And OT ticks through. And Young and Beautiful are halted just before third.
I think that's the first time I've seen a 0% shatter accuracy right there from Crandop. Thought he got the drop onto Trispirit. Trispirit like, I'm just going to float slightly to the left.
Everybody scooted into that mega health pack room. He thought everybody was there lining up waiting for him.
Turns out they were waiting for him.
Just somewhere else. Blink of an eye, they were gone. It's like a magician, like a magic trick.
Now you see me. Now you look dead. Crandop also got super caught out there because, of course, they gave him a speed boost so that he could get the engagement that he wanted, walk past Super Fluke's shield, and then try and land the shadow behind that, where Super Fluke would have to S-key backwards potentially to try and make that work. But obviously it doesn't work when you don't hit the shadow. But still a respectable attack for Young and Beautiful. No time left on the bank and no full completion, but 2 points to their name and almost 50 meters. Eternal Academy will now have to do slightly better if they want to put themselves on match point heading into our half time. Have to see if Young and Beautiful want to pull out anything strange on the defense, but I imagine 3-3 is going to continue to be their bread and butter. Right now, Jonah's hovering over the Sombra. Have some good territory control here, potentially control the Alderworth Hotel where you do have that mini health bank, and you can see right in front of you on the screen. Beautiful.
Maybe that's why they're bringing Jonah in too. We know Kathy is very famous in solo queue for Xayah, right? He's been ranked 1 multiple times. Disgusting at just charging grabs just so quickly. But maybe they needed a little bit more flexibility. I've seen your Genji, Kathy. I've seen it.
His trace is okay.
His trace is good.
Yeah.
His Genji. He fed that one time in my game. I still won't let him forget.
Guilty as charged.
Maybe they wanted a little bit more flexibility with Jonah, and that's why they brought him in on this Sombra. Again, another very good hit scan player. Has been playing Tracer. I know recently he just leveled up a new Tracer account, getting that to GM in almost one sitting, in fact, from a fresh level 25. And territory control with this Sombra might be what they need. Just take out Super Bluke's shield, and you're going to be able to win the game from there. It's
going to be 3-3 versus the 3-2-1. Eternal Academy aren't bringing out anything overly special this time, but Super Bluke just going to decide what way he wants to rotate around the statue of Mondana. It's going to be spotted out in the back. Jonah already de-stealthed. We may have to go out of this rather quickly. Does avoid the incoming shield bash, though.
And then look at this. As soon as they know that Translocator has been used, they could just dive straight on the back line. That Zen doesn't have the protection that he requires. Chao, in fact, actually gets caught out by a hack. He went up, scaled the wall almost like a spider, fell back down, he was hacked already. But with Crandop going down, that's actually a perfect trade.
Yeah, that's triggering my spider phobia right there. Chow, sorry about that. Flippy getting a little bit aggressive. Does give him a shield for temporary frontline here for Young and Beautiful on their defense. Super Fluke's falling incredibly low as well.
Oh, Flippy. Yeah, there's no way you can really survive against Kenzie like this. You can use those mortars to plink damage on the Brigitte from behind the shield by just right-clicking them. Chow does find the kill onto Huni as well. Askoff falls, yes, but they're going to get a very quick spawn now as they do manage to cap 5 minutes to move through the Streets phase.
Yeah, but we've seen just how much time banks can elapse and be drained away on Streets phase, Jaws. We'll have to see if Eternal Academy will be able to break through that final barrier, which is often the hardest one where you're so far away from your spawn. We don't really have a huge amount of tools to try and fast forward or gain momentum with at the moment. Kenzie and Super Bluke about equal on charge towards their Earth Shatter and Graviton Surge respectively, while Jonah's so close to an EMP, he can quickly shut this down and gain the stability that's needed. Zeo,
man, that was close.
He's hunting, dude, he's hunting.
10% away, like you said. Maybe he finds the hack on Chow, he does, so now he can just get free damage in. Tri-Spit turns around with a fully charged right-click. Who did you just hack? No, denied. Transcendence comes out to deny the damage onto that Graviton Surge thrown out by Young and Beautiful. And now Crandop doesn't really have a lot of protection. Askoff is actually behind him right now, just pummeling him with the Sound Blaster. Super Blue takes his life. And that'll be Eternal Academy continuing to move the payload.
Just a little bit of a misstep there. He didn't expect Tri-Spear to have a right-click ready to just evaporate Jonah. Of course, that does mean it will now be available to potentially be combined with an Earth Shatter from Crandop. I can get rid of that shield so quickly from a Reinhardt. But you can see Zeal scouting out at the moment. Wants to see if Jonah goes for any early hacks onto health packs for that territory control. But for now, he's going to be all about just trying to get in the proper position to get that EMP.
He needs to be able to get a big one here. It's taking him so long to build this one up. EMP comes through, but an instant beat coming from Young and Beautiful as well. They really want this fight. Graviton Surge gets thrown out by Eternal Academy, matched with a Transcendence. There's the bomb that gets thrown in by Chow, and actually a Shatter. As soon as that personal barrier went down on the Zarya, instantly Super Pluke was there, laying down the hammer and laying down the punishment. They're going to jump onto the payload. Young and Beautiful just need to die on here ASAP in order to buy themselves as much time as possible.
This is looking very dominant here for Eternal Academy. It's also worth noting that this is one of the first times we see Danny off of D.Va. He's always been a big D.Va player in the eyes of a lot of EU commentators and analysts. He's never really been flexing over that much, but now he is having to fill that role while Jonah plays on the Sombra, and potentially he's too deep into the charge of Graviton Surge now, so close towards the end that they cannot swap back around. They're going to have Jonah play on the Sombra and just try and make it work for one fight. He's going to have to look for a hack here, potentially onto Super Pluke to make him incredibly vulnerable, but he's already been caught, Jaws.
Yeah, he found Sombra, yes, but he did manage to get the hack off, in fact, onto Zeal, so Zeal had to play way more passively, and so did the rest of the team. Crydor, we're just going to get jumped on. Everybody moving around his shield, and his shield health is so low as well. Flippy is also going fairly low. Eternal Academy just winning out in the HP war right now, in the poke war. Young and Beautiful have ults coming online soon. EMP with the grab could end it all. Instant Graviton Surge coming through from Young and Beautiful. They had to do something, but a beautiful Shadow from Super Pluke into the bomb. Chow with 3 kills, Zeal with another, and Eternal Academy sink it home and find 2-0 in the series.
I said, Jaws, at the beginning of this map that Eternal Academy didn't look so strong in the 3-3 versus 3-3 matchup, and I would like to quietly rescind my comment. They looked pretty damn strong there, but potentially it was because there was no capability to swap back onto a standard 3-3 composition there for the side of Young and Beautiful. They're forced to keep Jonah on that Sombra, and he kept getting caught out, kept taking quite a bit of damage. And the second that they saw him translocate out, they were like, okay, 5v6. Crandop, hey there.
It's go time.
It's
and
us.
You don't have that D.Va. You're not like the meaty ball of mass that D.Va is, of course, in the mech. Plus, you've got defense matrix, you've got the micro missiles, you've got almost everything at your disposal to try and stop people from pushing into your Reinhardt like that. And when that's it, I mean, you're going to get sped on like we saw like twice before, in fact. Even going back to the first point, Chow got hacked. It didn't matter at all because Crandop didn't have the defense he needed.
Also means there's a lot less shield pressure because D.Va does a lot of damage, about 146.5 DPS from the fusion cannons if you're not suffering from damage drop-off, and that's a lot of danger to be presented towards a Reinhardt shield, especially when you have consistent uptime due to not needing to reload on the D.Va. And also, of course, you can control high ground so readily, you don't have to invest a translocator to try and do that. And when you do invest a translocator to try and control high ground, that's when you are ultimately super vulnerable as a Sombra. If someone sees you go up onto high ground with a translocator, they are sending that D.Va, they are giving you the Discord up, and you're probably going to lose that duel.
With the Sombra too, you are looking and you're trying to earn at least 1 EMP per team fight. We see in other regions like Korea, players like Flora, just earning EMP after EMP after EMP, just does such a good job just farming the tanks in the front line, just going behind them and then using the translocator when he's in trouble. And then when he earns the EMP, it's just easy for his team to just roll over the enemy because they've got nothing left after they get EMP'd ideally. It is up to the supports in most situations to save and make sure they are behind cover so the EMP doesn't hit them and then respond with an ult of their own. Maybe it's time now for Young and Beautiful to sub Kafi back in on the Zarya and just have just the monster Zarya player that he is, just try and control the tempo of the game. They need to put pressure on Super Pluke's shield.
Yeah, potentially so. Just go back to the old night market style of playing the square 3-3, bring in your potentially better Zarya, because Kavi's got pretty mad ultimate generation. Just got to place him a little bit better and he'll be pretty perfect on that Zarya.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out if he's subbed in. Do not go anywhere. Map number 3 coming up very soon.